Well, it was only a matter of time for Timothy Liljegren getting dealt by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it looks like he found a landing spot as the Leafs send Timothy Liljegren, former first-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Timothy Liljegren, to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for veteran defenseman Matt Benning, which is whatever, and a conditional 2025 third-round pick, so obviously the upcoming draft. Now, the condition on the pick is, I believe it's Colorado and Edmonton, because San Jose has both of their picks, Colorado and Edmonton's third-round pick. So the Leafs get the better of the, third-round pick. So that's fine. Good value, I guess. And then a sixth-round pick, which, whatever. So a lot of people are going to just start losing their mind because that's natural Leafs fans. But Timothy Liljegren was a Kyle Dubas guy, right? He was not really a Craig Berube, a Brad Treliving type of player. It's just never been a thing. But obviously being a former first-round pick, 17th overall, he's 25 years old, kind of like Rasmus Sandin. You're kind of at that point where you're like, okay, what are we doing, right? They signed him to that contract at the end of the season last year. I guess before training camp this year, really. And a lot of us scratch our head. We're like, I don't know if he's worth that much money, but okay, maybe. And he's played one game for this team this year. Didn't really do much. Played 13:55, took a penalty, and that's it. He's been in the Leafs organization since 2017. He has played with the Toronto Maple Leafs since 2019. And it's unfortunate to see him go, but I will say this. And I will ask you guys, what are you going to miss about Timothy Liljegren? He was a fine skater. He really never gave you incredible offense. His career high in goals was 6, and that was in 22-23. Career high in points is 23. Defensively, did you always love him? Not really. How many times did you see him go back to retrieve a puck and get absolutely hammered into the boards? It was always happening. So, for Sharks fans, wherever they are, you're getting a guy which are going to be an analytic darling. You look at all the heavy statistics, the in-depth stuff, you'd be like, he's really good here, he's really good here. You watch the game, you'd be like, there's a lot left to desire here. There's a lot of things that you're kind of just waiting for, and it never comes. He had the opportunity with the Leafs. Last year, he played 55 games and averaged 19.39 on the ice. Averaged 17.5 the year before. Played 67 games, 61 games, 55 games the last 3 years. And he really can never find his footing. And so the Leafs obviously signing him, and obviously not, and with Yanni Hakanpää on the mend, and I guess ready to go fairly. So I think the last day is either today or tomorrow. Where your LTIR guys can come off the LTIR. So guys like Connor Dewar, guys like Yanni Hakanpää will be ready to go. Not a coincidence that Timothy Liljegren gets dealt today. So that's kind of the thought process going into this. But again, we kind of all saw this coming for quite a while now. We kind of saw, in the offseason, we were all worried. When the contract got signed, we all thought, okay, great. And you probably will trade him at some point. But are you now going to have to retain some salary? Because he's making, $3 million? Yeah, $3 million a season for this year and next. Okay, well, obviously the Leafs did not have to do that. So they freed up some money. Matt Benning's making 1.25. I'm curious if they try and just activate Yanni Hakanpää and put him on waivers to try and get him through to add some depth to the D system down to the Marlies. He's played a lot of games in the NHL as Matt Benning, but he's not been great. He's just a veteran right-handed shot defenseman. Fine. I'm curious what they do with him. Because if they put him on waivers, get him on the AHL, I think the cap hit comes down, and Timothy Liljegren making 3. It's interesting. And obviously, getting the 2 draft picks, the 6th-round pick is kind of whatever. Because what year is that for? That's for next year. So it's like, whatever. But the 3rd-round pick for this upcoming season is interesting. Because if you look at the Leafs draft stock, there's not much. There ain't much there. And they acquired a 2nd-round pick, what was it, in the offseason? I can't remember what the trade, was it trading back in the draft, maybe, to acquire a 2nd-round pick for next year? I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was the case. And I could be wrong completely, actually. Who cares? They have a 2nd-round pick that wasn't here last year. And now they've acquired a third-round pick for this season. Now, look at when the Leafs last year tried to acquire Chris Tanev. What was the whole discussion? Well, the Leafs don't have a second-round pick. And they don't want to give up a first. And a third's not good enough. Well, now you've got that second and you've got that third. So it adds to a little something that you have some sort of value that you can move out. It gives you some flexibility at the trade deadline, which the Leafs will need. More importantly, to acquire like a third-line center or a second-line center, depending on how big they want to go and depends on what they see John Tavares as, right? That's kind of what it is. So, do I like the trade? Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Like, again, you got some draft picks for the trade deadline. You got a veteran defenseman, whether he does anything for the team or not. I think he'll play at some point. Whether it's a big sample, probably not. And more importantly, you got rid of the $3 million Timothy Liljegren, and you kind of just cleaned up that mess. Right? It's just been a mess kind of for a while now. And they know, we all kind of knew they had to make the deal, especially only playing one game this year for Timothy Liljegren. You kind of had to move him out, and they did. So that opens up a spot for Yanni Hakanpää, who we'll probably be seeing at some point soon, I would guess. I don't know. We'll see. But Leafs fans, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Let me know your thoughts on the trade. What are your fondest memories of Timothy Liljegren? I don't know. Honest to God, I don't really have much. Maybe he had one play that was like incredibly good. I don't know. I can't remember any of them. But regardless, thank you, Timothy Liljegren, for the many years of, I guess, service. I don't know. He was drafted the year after Matthews was. That's kind of how long he's been in the organization. I was initially jacked up to have him as a Leaf. I really was. I think my buddy has a video of us watching the draft and hoping it was Timothy Liljegren. And then they drafted him. We lost our mind. Just because I believe he was supposed to be a top pick. And then got mono, I believe it was, and then that plummeted his stock, and the Leafs were able to pounce on it, the 17th overall, and we're like, holy crap, he never really turned out to be anything too special. Kind of like Rasmus Sandin, right? Yeah, he's fine. I don't know, actually, I have no idea what Sandin's doing in Washington. Let me quickly check that out while we're here, because, I mean, it doesn't really mean much. Washington signed him long-term, so clearly they see a lot more in him than the Leafs did. He was a -1 yesterday and a 5.3. Well, he's got 4 assists in 8 games. He's fine. Right? That's the thing about Liljegren. He'll be fine, and he'll get an opportunity in San Jose to play. But it is what it is. Leaf fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comment down below your thoughts on the deal. What you like, what you not like about the deal. Do you just hate it altogether? Do you love it altogether? Let me know down below. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below, so follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I'll talk to you guys Leafs edition. It'll be tomorrow night, as they are back at home taking on the Seattle Kraken at 7 o'clock on Halloween. Yeah, 7 o'clock puck drop tomorrow night, and we'll see if the Leafs can win 2 in a row. Build off of that Jets game on Tuesday? No, hold on a minute. What day is today? No, it was Monday night. Good Lord, I'm all over the place. So, hopefully they can. As for the Raptors, they're in action tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. It was a horrific start to the game, but they've really bounced back. Only a 6-point game in the third quarter. I'll talk to you guys post-game then. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and kind of this saga being over with Timothy Liljegren. We'll talk to you guys then.